Stand by to receive our transmission.
Where are you boys from in the world?
Alabama, sir.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Welcome to the Bama Geeks podcast. We are four friends diving into our favorite pop culture topics with a dash of Southern charm.
We have the tools, we have talent. It's Miller time.
Whoa, this is heavy.
Pizza Dude's got 30 seconds.
Wait, what? Crazy? You didn't say I was crazy.
You got the wrong guy. I'm the dude, man.
You want something done, you've got to do it yourself.
Be excellent to each other. Party on, dudes!
So grab your biscuits and gravy, a glass of sweet tea, and enjoy the nerdy hospitality of Brock and Jessica Parker, Bo Bearden, and Kevin Gardner.
This is the way.
This is the way.
Hey, it's us. It's the Bama Geeks. Welcome to episode 4. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Brock Parker, and with me...
Hi, it's Jessica.
Hey, it's Bo.
And it's Kevin.
Ah, yes. We are family, and I'm not going to sing that song for you because I can't sing.
We are family.
It's so much better than I can. Thank you, man.
Bama Geeks, the karaoke version.
That's right. Rock band Bo's got this in the bag.
Hey.
Oh, well, we have had, I would say, an eventful couple of weeks since we last recorded episode 3. Two of the guys on here especially have had big events in their lives. Like, they finally got older.
Beats the alternative, I guess, you know.
Well, it's just inching closer to it.
Well, hey.
I can't say anything. I'm the oldest one on this podcast. It's okay.
As I've always said, I plan to live forever. So far, so good.
Your track record is holding up.
Yes.
Yeah, you be quiet, Grandpa.
Back in my day. Yeah, Bo hit the big 4-0 and finally joined our illustrious club. And we had a fantastic time this past weekend celebrating Kevin's birthday. He's only a year older than Bo.
Only a year older.
Only a year.
Just barely in that 40 club.
If we keep this up, we'll be the Bama AARP geeks.
Well, since I'll hit it first, I'll hit 50 first. I'll go ahead and start getting the cards ready for you guys.
Yeah.
I still got a few more years. This summer I'll be halfway through my 40s. I shouldn't have gray hair, but
I like your gray hair.
Oh, thank you.
Don't ever change it. I love it.
Yeah, I've been told I can't color my hair, which is fine. So, but yeah, like I said, this past weekend we celebrated Kevin's birthday. Boy, we had a whole lot of fun. We took Bama Geeks on the road, all of us. This is Sunday night. Last night we were, I was going to say partying down, but we were not the one with jousts. And I don't know if that's what the equipment is called. We didn't have swords and shields. I'll tell you that much.
No.
What are those called that you joust with?
The spears.
Lances.
Lances there.
Thank you.
There we go.
See,
the lance.
See, this is when you get to your mid-40s, you get to experience memory loss. It's fantastic.
Well, I mean, obviously I know I'm the one who's been at medieval times more than any of you guys put together. So
that's true.
I mean, yeah, it's like it's in my blood. I mean, I might as well be a cast member at this point.
Yeah, we were having a great time in Atlanta at medieval times. It's the first time that I had been, first time Jess had been. And of course I had been wanting to go ever since the cable guy came out, you know.
Yeah, that was about as much of my medieval times knowledge that I had obtained was from the cable guy.
Yeah. I almost got the chance to go to, is there the one in Myrtle Beach?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Back in 98, 99, when I was working for a company out of Atlanta, after I was in the Air Force, we had to do some work over in Myrtle Beach. And I saw the big billboard for medieval times. I'm like, oh, this is fantastic. Mm-hmm. And we never went. And so I swore we would go to the one in Atlanta. And finally got to. That was a lot of fun. I just hate that I didn't get to use the line from the movie, "Thanks to ye, fair wench."
We did not have a winch for a...
We had a hero.
Yes, we did.
He was fantastic.
Yes, did you tell me? I didn't get a chance to watch you guys while you were eating, but you did eat your chicken with your bare hands, right?
Yes, we did.
Everything.
Well, you could.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, you can no, seriously though, you can ask for utensils, but they're going to look at you really weirdly.
Well, in medieval
but you can
times,
get utensils.
In medieval times, there were no utensils,
Right.
but you can get a refill on your Pepsi.
So thankfully, yes.
Yes.
That's like they had all kind of themes for the food. Like they had a tomato soup or tomato bisque. They called it dragon's blood. And then our server, he brought the big hunk of chicken, and he said, called it dragon's meat. We don't know why we call it dragon's meat. It tastes like chicken. I said, call it dragon meat because you drag it across the fire. You know, that's what you do.
He said he loved that one. Yeah.
So he said he was going to borrow that from now on.
I was about to say, you can guarantee he's going to use that.
Oh, yeah.
Guaranteed. Yeah.
And if you go to the medieval times in Atlanta and your server is hero, then that joke is my fault. Then.
Yep.
So there you go.
Yeah, he was fantastic.
Man, he was
great experience.
Yeah, it was 2 hours and worth every penny.
Absolutely.
We've all got a friend, Joseph Lavender, and he works part of the time at Medieval Times. And so thankfully he was there last night. He does all the narration and the emceeing and everything on the, from the horse. And he did a fantastic job. And we got to spend a few minutes with him before and after the show. And I tell you, he did a great job. So it's great to see Joe and great to see these performances, man. These guys put on a heck of a show.
Joe definitely fits in very well to the whole theatrics of it. He did a great job.
Yep.
Yeah, we had to visit her from afar because of current situations. But like, this is my second time going. We went with my first time when my family went, and then the family came along for this one. Traditionally, afterwards, you can meet your knight that you that represented your nation that you're part of. Or you can meet the queen, take photos, and so eventually things will get back to normal, and you guys need to go back when you can do that so you can meet your knight and all that stuff. That's a really fun part of the experience.
Yeah, we definitely look forward to going back.
Oh,
doesn't have to be a birthday. We just all can pile up in the car and go.
Yeah, it definitely will not be a last trip for us.
Yeah, but
the good thing about that particular venue is that if you've never been before, is that it's in the Sugarloaf Mills Mall. Which also contains another really, really sought after store that we all love going to, that we no longer unfortunately have in Alabama, is the Lego store.
Yeah. Yes. Boy, did we all take advantage of it.
Yes, we did.
I am not ashamed to say I came back. The set that I chose to buy for myself for my own birthday present was the adult collectible, the bouquet of flowers.
Which that's going to look really cool.
I cannot wait to see how you build that, because that's not something I ever thought Lego sets would be created to build.
Yeah, I mean it kind of caught my attention, and I reached, and Bo mentioned something to me while we were at the event, and I didn't quite catch what he was saying, so I messaged him earlier today, and he's like, "You just need to get some of the little 1x1 like translucent blue pieces, the little studs." And then he linked me a listing on Amazon where you could buy like 100 of them. So I bought like 3 packs of like 100 of them. And so I'm going to have like 300. So I'm going to basically make water in the bottom of the vase.
Oh, nice.
That'd be
studs.
Cool.
Yeah.
That'd be
so hopefully it's going to look really good. I think I'm going to use like florist foam or something at the bottom of it to keep them all in place, and then put that around it. And hopefully it'll turn out to be good. And it's on the plus side. I'm a dude. I don't like dealing with flowers much.
They'll never die.
And they'll never die because they're Legos. All I got to do is dust them off every once in a while. They'll be good to go.
It's the perfect plant.
Well, it's like the late, great Mitch Hedberg. My plastic flowers died because I forgot to pretend to water them.
What did you guys pick up from the Lego store, if anything?
Which one of us wants to go first on that one?
Well, I'll go ahead and do mine because mine's going to be shorter. The Space Shuttle Discovery. I'm such a massive. Oh my gosh! I mean, all of us growing up in the '80s, and the Space Shuttle program was really, really big back then, and I couldn't resist. I think it's massive. It comes with a Hubble telescope. It's wonderful. So, yeah, I'd been eyeballing that for a little while, and thankfully had some VIP points from some previous purchases, and so I walked off with the Space Shuttle Discovery.
Yeah, and you got an additional perk there, the store manager.
Yeah, the store manager brought the box out, and it had a crease on the top. I mean, just an ever so slight crease on the top. And they were like, this is a damaged box. And I went, it's just a small crease on top. She's like, yeah, but a lot of people like to have that pristine box. So we'll give you an extra $25 in VIP points if you'll take the damaged box. And I went, you're sold right here. Give it here. Yeah.
Yeah, and Brock's like, yeah, of course I'm one of those people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, are you going to keep it in the box and display? And I'm like, no, I'm going to tear this thing open and put it together. It's what I do. It's what Legos are built for, man.
You should have seen the look on Brock's face, though, when Alyssa asked, why are you getting a space shuttle?
I'm like, do you not know me? Have you never lived with me? My daughter.
Spaceship!
Yeah. I mean, they had the International Space Station on display right there at the entrance.
Yeah.
I thought that was phenomenal. And I was actually really surprised at just how low the piece count on that particular set was. That was
and the price.
Pretty good. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
price was like $70.
Yeah. For something as big as that was, I mean, it's not like, like a massive piece, but it's just, it's a space station.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
it's, it's going to be huge.
Well, Bo came away with the haul of the night.
Well, say for me, what I've been doing, this is the reason why I was able to haul away. Unfortunately, my wife introduced me to donating plasma, which is very interesting. And they have a special promotion going on, which, hey, if you're donating, you achieve so much for your time. Well, after doing that a couple of times, I was able to have some funds, and I was picking up two things I've been eyeballing for a while, and that is the Afterlife, the large Ghostbusters Afterlife Ecto 1 set, and the Let's Get Nuts 1989 Batwing.
Yes.
That's going to look so wonderful when it hangs on my wall. That will be secure because I do not want that to fall off.
The command strip Batwing. Hey, just think, if you put them up there with the command strips and it falls off, you get to put it together again. Several times.
Yeah, no.
And then you can clip that in your stream. If you're on a stream, you can clip that, and then
I'm sure that's when it happens, because 99% of the time when stuff falls down, it's always during the stream. Always.
Of course. So, I mean, you had figures falling off the wall the last time we recorded the episode 3. So, hey.
Yeah, my plan for those is it'll be probably the summer when my son's out of school. We will probably put together the Afterlife Ecto, the Batwing, and then maybe eventually the Firehouse. So I'm going to be like, my hands and fingers are going to be so drawn up by the time the summer's over with from Legos.
Did you get a piece puller?
We have one from his 8 million sets he has. So we've
and it'll come with one as well in the Ecto.
Oh, awesome! Yeah.
Yeah.
The biggest thing I will have decision on the Ecto is to either put the rust stickers on it or not, because part of me I like pristine Ecto, but then again, as for me being the older Ghostbuster fan, the rusty Ecto is more, I guess, the Ecto's gray hairs, I guess,
See, Bo, you had the perfect opportunity. You could have bought two and then just had one that had the rust stickers and one that didn't, right?
Sell some more plasma.
There we go.
Yeah. Go get your instead of your Lego VIP points, go get your plasma VIP points.
I literally bleed for my toys.
Well, not to touch off the subject too much, but it was funny that Brock had made the comment, are you filtering out that 40-year-old blood? Now that you're getting 40, you're doing the plasma thing. So
yeah, I guess so. Maybe, do like Doc Brown did, some fresh blood, some,
Bo pulls the skin off.
Yeah.
It was just a special effect, Bo.
Yes.
And we are not receiving any kind of sponsorship whatsoever from the Plasma Center. This is
But we will take it.
Yes.
We will take the sponsorship. We'll give you our plasma.
Look,
I think it's a good trade.
Since you've told us this story, Bo, don't think me and Brock have not taken this into some consideration. So.
Well, they have, like I said, I know they have special promotions. Sometimes you get more money than others. Like I said, I mean, I'm not to break it off. It turned this into a plasma story, but it took me 3 tries to finally successfully donate. The first 2 times, unfortunately, my blood was stingy and I received hematomas, which they don't hurt, but they look really bad.
Yeah. Oh, hey, at least we're not hating on Walmart for once, so we're
exactly.
Good. Yeah.
Just wait. I have a Walmart story.
Yeah,
I have a Walmart story.
But it's good. But hey, we'll get there. But it's yeah.
So, but the thing is, like Hasbro makes the Ghostbusters Plasma Series figures.
Yeah.
It's what they call it's the equivalent of the Star Wars Black Series. So Bo is living up to that. He is literally this is our living, breathing Plasma Series Bo.
Speaking of which, I finally picked up Zool and Gozer now, so I have now the complete set to build the Dog.
Very good.
We kind of segued from Plasma to Plasma Series there. So
we make this work.
We do. How many plasmas did that take, Bo?
Oh, well, those weren't too bad. Here's the Legos. It took the chunk out of it. I mean, license and a ton of Legos. I mean, I understand that why it costs that much.
The Legos took 11 plasmas.
Yes.
That was so funny because I looked over at Bo. We were on one side of the store, and I looked over at Bo, and he's just got boxes up there on the counter just checking out. And I'm like, this is going to be a happy man.
Well, on top of that, I also bought 2 Minecraft sets for my son who loves the Minecraft Legos.
Yeah.
So
Right.
we all got toys that made us happy.
That's right.
Good.
Yeah, that is awesome. I tried to get my kids, my son and my daughter. I offered them Lego sets last night. Neither one of them took me up on it.
Well, Dave did, but he kind of got a little out there. One of his choices was,
hey, this one's got 1,000. Oh, it says $100. And I'm like, hey, boy, you got a job. And my daughter opted for, of all things, she's like, I don't want a Lego set. I said, what do you want? My daughter is a teenager, and she's like, I want to go sit in the massage chair outside. Like, okay. And so then all 3, Jess and both my kids, went and sat in the massage chairs at the end of the massive mall walk we did.
yeah, and you would think it would kind of be a bothersome thing, and I didn't think about it from the time I got in that chair. But of course, when we're leaving the mall, Melissa's like, I don't know if it was a good idea for us to put our heads on that. What if we got lice? And then all of a sudden, you feel the itchiness. I'm like, oh, don't even mention it. Don't even mention it. I could start feeling my head getting itchy, but I'm sure we're fine. And it was, hey, it was a pretty good.
We're fine.
Hey, $2 and a 7-minute massage in the chair wasn't too bad.
Yep, I did not partake, frankly, because there was another guy sitting in the 4th one, and he didn't get up and move until they had already started. So I just suffered.
He just took pictures of us.
Yeah. Which my daughter loved. Why are you taking that from me from that angle?
Which, speaking of that mall, I have to bring up, over the last few years, it felt like malls have not been really busy. That mall made it feel like very 80s, 90s busy mall. That was a good feeling to experience again.
Yeah. We stopped by today and saw our friends Craig Goldberg and Abigail Gardner, Craig and Abby from the Yes Have Some podcast. We stopped by and saw them for a few minutes today, and Craig was telling us that Georgia went wide open yesterday as far as masks done.
Yeah.
And so that's probably why there was one reason such a large crowd at the mall. But yeah, there was a lot of people there.
Yeah,
and the scale of that mall, everything that was in there, huge.
Yeah, I mean the layout was just like a just a big oval. I mean, it was really easy to just go one direction. And I don't know if you guys were noticed, but there really weren't any empty storefronts. It's like there would be a storefront, but it was like you could look through and see the store
Stuff
was being put. Yeah, so it's like there were no empty storefronts. Then you compare that to like the Birmingham Galleria, the River Chase Galleria, where it's like you go in there and a whole wing is like totally abandoned.
Well, they're managed by a different property. I want to say the same property that manages the Opry Mills Mall in outside of Nashville.
Simon.
So they're kind of
Simon's the group that owns them. Yeah.
So they're very well managed. Because like I said, I've been to the Opry Mills a couple of times, and it's still very thriving, very nicely.
The first beef I ever took with the Galleria was taking out the Disney store a few years ago.
Yeah,
that was like, okay, I'll still come visit because you have a Lego store. Then they took out the Lego store. It's like, I have not been back to the Galleria in over a year, probably a year and a half.
This editorial brought to you by Brock Parker.
Brought to you by Brock Parker. Hey, look, we ain't hating on Walmart at this point.
So speaking of, Walmart story, right?
Right.
I hate Walmart. I've always hated Walmart. I have a very well-known hatred of that store. It's my least favorite store in the world. Ever since Toys R Us closed down, it's really become my least favorite store because they and Target now are the places to get toys. Well, Walmart, up until January 1st of this year, it was the exclusive place you could get He-Man, Masters of the Universe, Origins figures that Mattel has been releasing. They still have exclusivity agreements in when they released a Castle Grayskull last year, when they started opening up pre-orders for Castle Grayskull. And of course, me and so many people I know, we all had pre-ordered this thing. And so now the emails are starting to come in from Walmart. Notorious emails. Oh, this is getting delayed. Okay, there's the first email. Delayed by a couple of weeks. Okay, fine. Then comes the second email. Oh, we're delaying this again for another couple of weeks. So now we're a month deep into this. And then the third email has come, pushing it back even further. Some people that I know, they're getting that famous email. Your order's been canceled. Yep. Okay, well, thanks. At least other stores like Big Bad Toy Store They are you can pre-order in Entertainment Earth. You can pre-order Castle Grayskull through there, and I'm all in on this Masters Origin line. They're releasing the figures from our childhood. I used to have all these figures until I blew them up with fireworks as a kid. New Year's was a really bad time for my action figures, so now I'm having to go through and reclaim them. Well, Origins figures, they're very inexpensive, and they're releasing all the ones that I had as a kid, so I'm getting my nostalgia fill. Well, my pre-order for Castle Grayskull has not been canceled yet. I'm waiting on it from Walmart. Last Friday, I wake up out of a dead slumber because, gotta get up, gotta work, gotta walk all the way into my living room to work. Well, as I'm rubbing my eyes coming into the kitchen, there on the kitchen counter is Castle Grayskull. Magically appeared.
Table.
I don't know where this thing came from. I just know there's a Castle Grayskull sitting on my kitchen counter. I'm texting Jessica. Hey, what? Huh? Where did this come from? What's going on? And she had to get up earlier Friday morning and make a run to Walmart. Our local Walmart is notorious for having zilch.
Nothing.
They never have anything. It's a smaller store. Good people work there, but inventory is pathetic. And she had to go to the store that morning to get something before work, and she had enough time to run back to the house and leave a surprise for me. She had gone into the store to pick up her stuff, and she, on a whim, God bless this woman, this is why I love her, one of the many reasons, decided, take a cruise to the toy section. Let's go see what's out there. So she goes back there. She knows I'm looking for the Master of the Universe stuff. Nothing new, because our Walmart is never stocked with the fun stuff. So yeah, she goes back there, and there's nothing new around the Masters of the Universe figures.
Yep.
Okay, well, that's fine. Nothing there. Okay, so she just happened to walk an aisle over. And not in the Masters of the Universe stuff, but with what around board games, kind of. It was at
the end of the board game aisle. There's like just a random shelf there, and they put stuff, not board games. They just put random toys on this on the end of this aisle, this particular aisle. It's not like an end cap per se, just shelves. And I just happened right in my line of sight on the bottom shelf, and I'm looking at it, and I'm thinking, that's Castle Grayskull. I pick it up, I'm looking at it, I'm turning it over front and back. This is Castle Grayskull. I started looking around, and that's the only one they had. Just blue. Just it's that thing of when you knowing that you're looking for something and you see it, and you're trying to think, am I really? Is this it? I'm really seeing. So yeah.
And that was my thought process when I saw it on the counter. And boy, she got some hugs and kisses when she came home for lunch.
I was pretty appreciated that day.
Yeah.
As
always, though. Thank you.
I know that.
But doubly so when you get him toys.
Exactly.
Oh, it's a beautiful thing.
It's like Christmas morning without the Christmas. So there you go. Everybody, it's good to have that Christmas morning surprise, and that's what I was able to give him. I failed in leaving mini Mickey waffles and bacon for him that morning, but I did leave Castle Grayskull on the counter. So, I'm forgiven for not fixing waffles and bacon that morning and leaving for him.
Yeah, normally I don't wake up to breakfast anyway because she's trying to get out the door, and I never ask for breakfast.
Yeah, he doesn't.
But Thursday morning she had fixed. We've got a waffle maker that fixes 6 mini Mickey waffles at a time, just like they fix down at Disney World. And so
yeah.
So my breakfast that morning was just a bowl of happiness. Of having Castle Grayskull physically in the house. And I've been able to cancel my pre-orders because that just you don't get any better than that.
Yeah.
I live a blessed life with this woman.
Thank you.
This wife of mine.
Thank you.
But hey, speaking of breakfast.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of breakfast, Bo got a package of breakfast stuff in the mail.
Yeah.
From someone that we all love and are very appreciative of.
It was very nice to ship us 8 essential vitamins and minerals and marshmallows.
Thanks for the sugar.
From the previous podcast, we had mentioned our issue with not being able to find the Ghostbusters cereal in our area, in the Birmingham area. Thanks to a listener of the podcast, friend of the podcast,
Mr. Darnay Olson.
Thank you so much, Darnay. Correct me. Where is it that he lives again?
He is in Michigan, I believe.
Yes.
Let me double check that. I feel bad. Minnesota. I knew it was one of the M ones.
Yep.
But he is a Mississippi boy by way of Minnesota. So he's got that Southern tie into it. So that's what it is.
Gotcha.
Yeah. We've become friends with him, and he goes, if you want to, does he stream on Twitch?
He just started here recently.
Okay.
He is part of the Ghostbuster Medicorps. He is like works on an actual ambulance and saves people's lives.
Yeah.
And how cool is that as a Ghostbuster? How cool can you get with that?
He gets to use the sirens all the time.
Exactly.
He gets to run the red lights.
Awesome. Exactly. He is living the dream, except outside of wearing the proton pack. Unless, I guess he finds a way to hook up the EKG and maybe heat him up.
EKG, PKE, it's all, you know. But yeah, Darnay, we've become pretty good friends with him, and man, we appreciate you more than you'll ever know.
Yes.
We have not been able to find this cereal anywhere, and now we all of us have boxes of it, and we just thank you so much for the wonderful care package.
Yes, very kind of you.
I'm going to flare up some blood sugar levels very soon.
I mean, you guys, you would think, we're in the South, we're famous for sweet tea, frying everything, and just basically just clogging our arteries and having diabetes and whatnot, and we can't find cereal. What is wrong with that?
I wonder if it's just some of the retailers around here didn't pick it, because I think he got it from what is it? Is it the Hy-Vee? I'm not sure what that chain is up there.
Yeah,
I think that's what it's called.
I thought Kroger was getting them down here.
Yeah, I haven't seen them. I mean, I haven't been to a Kroger. I mean, I saw
don't
more
have
Krogers this weekend as we were driving through Georgia. I've seen more Krogers this weekend than I have in
miss
years.
Kroger.
So.
Yeah, but when we had visited with Craig and Abby today, they said that they have not been. They've got Krogers in the area. They haven't spotted them in theirs. So
yeah.
I don't want to get Brock started back on a rant again, but
I have no rants.
I was in Walmart just the other day.
Oh my gosh, Kevin!
Cereal aisle. I walked through the cereal aisle, and they have this is literally, it's got to be 3-4% of their store dedicated to cereal, and I'm like, how could you not spare a little room for one little piece of a box of Ghostbusters cereal?
Which is weird, because that teaser is pretty much was filmed in a Walmart.
Yeah, it was.
Yes.
Literally was.
How?
If we walk through and find the actual Stay Puft marshmallows and not find the cereal, Walmart.
They had literally, well, not literally. They figuratively had the equivalent of a pallet of Lucky Charms on the shelf. And I'm like, just take one of those away and then put the Ghostbuster stuff there.
Well, I know that there's been the whole issue, with the movie being pushed back and the distribution on some of these items. And then, Brock mentioned in the last episode, or when we talked about the teaser with the Paul Rudd, that, when the cereal was hitting, so these little mini Stay Puffs are on the cereal. So we kind of have to, how does this all tie in? What is this about? So
while we're piling on Walmart, by the way, we as we took the scenic route out of Atlanta this weekend, we didn't go the interstate. We kind of went a little bit north of it, and which is weird. And that whole kind of the back route scenic route we took, not taking the interstate, I saw one Walmart outside. I think it was Buford, Waco area. I believe that's where it was. So we stopped, and guess what?
What?
No freaking turtles.
No,
I am shocked.
Turtle.
The turtle hunt continues.
Well, we stopped down in Noonan, Georgia, which is just south of Atlanta. It is a wonderful toy store that Craig had alerted us to called Full Circle Toys. If you're ever in Noonan, Georgia, check the store out.
Absolutely.
It's wonderful. It is our childhood in pure plastic. It is wonderful. And they did have one of the turtle sets.
Leonardo and Donatello. Yes.
Yeah, they did have that one. It was just a hair above the price range, and I wanted to be able to get both sets at one time if we could for both. So the hunt, like the water boy says, the search continues.
And even our fine gentleman, Mr. Darnay, that got us the cereal, he's actually looked for me up there in Minnesota, and he has not seen any there either. So
and our friend, our good friend Austin Young, has been searching as well, and he's been keeping me updated. He can't find them out in the Midwest.
You know what, guys? If we could actually convince Dollar General to get in on this, we would have them everywhere down here.
Dollar General exclusivity.
Exactly.
Clover Valley Ninja Turtles. I like it.
So, anything else this weekend, Bo? You were mentioning before that you did hit IKEA.
Yes, went to IKEA. I now have 2 more DTOFs to add for this stuff, so that'll be something eventually going back here. I've acquired way more figures over the last 6 months than I have in a long time between birthdays and picking them up myself, so I need somewhere to put them because I'm now to the point some of the things I'm going to start opening. I don't know about the stuff on the wall behind me that's hanging, but eventually some stuff's going to get open, and I needed some DTOF space because that'll help out a whole lot.
Congratulations on the DTOFs. They're
yes.
As far as the toy collecting in the collector world, they're
it's
great.
Perfect.
They're great for
need.
display.
They are a definite need.
The biggest thing I'll ever want to get, and I know Brock has, you had that glass table. I know it wasn't DTOF, but you had that glass table you displayed some of your stuff, and IKEA doesn't sell it anymore, but I want one so bad.
Oh, what was it called? Doggone it. Now I can't remember what it was, but yeah, it was a horizontal display case that was perfect, and unfortunately the lock on it is busted and it's still in storage, so who cares? I'll try to get a new lock for it, but yeah, that's a great display case.
I wish we could have made an IKEA trip, but we can't go to IKEA unless we have room to bring stuff home from IKEA. Car was kind of packed.
So is the house. So yeah,
and time was time was limited this weekend.
You guys let me know when you want to do a run, and I'll hook the trailer up to the Tesla, and we'll go up there and get some stuff. Oh yeah,
that's right. The Tesla has the trailer now.
Oh yeah. We can go and take care of it, man. We'll get whatever we need. We'll load that sucker up and strap it down,
and we won't have to pay for gas.
And I also wanted to mention, I'm sure that we've got some fans out there who are watching the show Invincible. It just wrapped up with the last episode of season 1. Incredibly awesome show. This one's won by, Rob Kirkman, Walking Dead. Mm-hmm. So I know we've got some folks in the podcast now who are really interested in The Walking Dead. I know of at least one who's really interested.
I don't know what you're talking about.
We may, while we were in Noonan, shot over to Sonoy, Georgia, and ate at Norman Reedus' restaurant today.
Of course.
There we go.
Because, the old saying, when in Rome, but when you're in that area of Georgia, you have to visit the Walking Dead world, and you have to eat at Nick and Norman's. You have to.
So one of the things that we want to make sure everyone's aware is that Invincible definitely got picked up for season 2. If you haven't started watching that series yet, and you guys are into just a really, really good show, that's another one that you definitely want to pick up. Mm-hmm. And speaking of good shows, Castlevania on Netflix. Oh, and Invincible is on Amazon Prime. Castlevania is on Netflix, and it just got picked up for season 4. And what a phenomenal trailer for season 4. They're going to wrap up the series with season 4, and it looks like they're going to be going out with a bang and getting like really, really heavily into it. So that's going to be a great one. That looks like Netflix has already announced that they're going to spin that off into another series that's yet to be announced. But it seems like they're going to be exploring that even further. But since the story arc from the manga and whatnot has officially about to come to a close, I think that's where Castlevania is going to end. But that's definitely one that, if you haven't watched Castlevania yet, I would definitely recommend getting into that one. But with that said, what looks like is going to be a recurring theme for us, because we have 2 awesome wrestling fans here, I want to get us into speaking about athletic theater.
We've got to come up with some sort of drop for that, some sort of
some kind of
catchy music.
Regal music.
Yeah. William Regal music?
William Regal.
Feel free to take what I just did and just give it the echo. The athletic theater.
And by the way, Bo is wearing the NWO shirt right now with the championship belt from WCW.
I believe that was one of the decrees. If you were NWO, you were NWO for life, my friend. So,
Yes. Well, this segment of athletic theater is not going to be a whole lot, but just a couple of interesting things that are out there if you are a fan of the 80s wrestling and the 90s wrestling and the Attitude Era. Brock and I have been watching Young Rock and have been enjoying that thoroughly.
Such a good show.
Fantastic show. And
to deviate really quickly, the guy that plays young Rock, while he's in college, has also just been signed on to Black Adam to star with Dwayne Johnson. He's going to be in that, I guess, as a version of him. I don't know. But yeah. His name slips my mind at the moment, and I apologize for that. But yeah, the guy that plays him while he's playing college in Miami, who is a dead ringer.
Yeah, the casting for this show has been spot on. I've been wondering, while watching this, is there a possibility that there could be a season 2? And the announcement came out that it has been picked up for season 2. So that is, I'm very excited about that news, and look forward to seeing how they further the story and where they're going to take it. Also, they are season 3 of Dark Side of the Ring is back this week on Vice Network.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, what a phenomenal series that is. If you have not checked that out, it'll get you in the feels, because they really, when they say Dark Side of the Ring, they tackle some pretty bad stuff that's happened in the world of professional wrestling.
If you're a wrestling fan, you'll definitely love it. Even if you're not a fan of professional wrestling, but kind of want to see some kind of, tragedy and stuff. Yeah, type stuff like that. Definitely, I would give it a watch. Some of the higher profile names, you're going to see somebody
right?
The most casual fans. It's definitely something you should watch.
Even the guys that we really were not very familiar with, their stories were just as fascinating. So, fantastic series that they've got on Vice, and that has started back up this week. And the first episode is regarding Brian Pillman. So, that's going to be a great episode. And A&E has turned into Wrestling Sundays now. They are the biography series on A&E. The first one that they have started out with in this season was Stone Cold, which fantastic. And by the way, I mentioned the photo album that I had feared was missing for so long. I'm happy to report that I have found that photo album that has my personalized autograph photo from Stone Cold in it. Flipped out. Sent Brock so many happy texts when I found that in storage. Overjoyed. Second episode they've done was Roddy Piper. Again, fantastic episode.
Villain.
And this Sunday was Randy Savage. So there you go. We've got some fantastic episodes.
Bo will not watch that one. He will refuse.
Oh no, never know. As I sit here,
Oh no.
Well, see, unfortunately, I don't have A&E as part of my. Unfortunately, part of my TV package, but the A&E app allows you to watch it a week after it airs. So I'm gonna have to watch every one of them a week behind. Like I just recently watched the Stone Cold one, which, by the way, it opened my eyes. They was talking about one of his possible ring names would have been Frost McFang. And now that is going to be forever ingrained in my brain. When I see Stone Cold Steve Austin, it's Frost McFang.
He's talked about that on his podcast before. Yeah.
The run through of his possible names was hilarious.
And watching the other wrestlers do it.
Yes.
Having that cut back and forth of different wrestlers listing off the names was funny.
Yeah.
But the Roddy Piper one, man, that was good.
Oh, Piper is one of the greatest characters in wrestling ever. And I mean, he was like, all the wrestling characters always are, larger than life, but he was just so intense. And like, even though he was a great face, when he was a villain, that's why he was the villain.
And hearing the story that, because he played the villain so well, he had to have a leather jacket made with Kevlar inside of it because he had been stabbed multiple times.
Yeah, he'd been stabbed like 3 times.
And again, it's just fantastic story. And things you learn about these people that you would have never known before, and the fact that they're putting these biographies just tell the stories so well of their lives and what they've been through. And Piper's story when he was in the early days of wrestling and his famous feud with the Guerrero family. That story in itself, I won't spoil anything. I hope you get to see it, but it's fantastic. Along with the biography series, WWE is now doing a series that is called Most Wanted Treasures, where they are in search of items to archive for the WWE. We've had, the first episode was Mick Foley. The second episode they did was Undertaker and Kane. And the one that's coming on tonight, third episode, has to do with Jerry Lawler. This show, again, if you have a collector's heart, and especially if you're a wrestling fan, to see them going out and attaining these items to bring back to archive with the WWE is fascinating.
And what's fun about it is they're actually the superstars whose gear they're looking for, they're actually getting the wrestlers to go out and search for these things.
Yeah.
So like Undertaker went down to Knox County, Tennessee and looked up good old Mayor Kane, Glenn Jacobs. Yeah. And convinced him to let go of some of his Kane stuff. And then they went to Undertaker's storage building. It's like, oh yeah, you're looking for this. Here it is.
Yeah. Undertaker opened up his storage building, pulled out a plastic tub, and he found his Phantom mask that he wore, that he had to wear when the ocular area got busted. Yeah. He said he had just put this in the when he finished with it, he just stuck it in the tub and stored it away. And they only made one of these, and he had it, so that made the value of it beyond. It was mind blowing.
It's so crazy to think how much of professional wrestling history was in an attic in Knoxville, Tennessee, and a storage building in Texas. And that's so crazy. He was talking about like the boots, like I think it was Kane's boots. Like he showed him, you see the front of his boots had more scuffs on them where the back was. That was because nobody pinned him. He was always pinning them, so the front of the boot got more scuffing.
Right.
That was kind of a neat little bit of wrestling history that I liked that they talked about.
Mm-hmm. And the first episode with Mick Foley was great, where Mick went and sat on this couch, played with this guy's kids just to try to get like a Mr. Sacco or something out of him.
One guy Mick went to, and where he got the Mankind outfit that the guy had, he promised him he'd come back and watch any pay-per-view with him, order food, and have a party down there in the guy's basement. And it's the wheeling and dealing is hilarious with some of these collectors, the people that have been, if the wrestler themselves didn't have it and they went to whoever had collected it or purchased it or obtained it, the deals that they're making with these people to get these items back has been hilarious.
Yeah, that was like for Undertaker, like one of the mortuaries that Paul Bearer was friends with. Yeah. They had one of the urns, like one of the urns that they didn't have. So in return, because the mortuary, people visit that mortuary to see that urn. Well, they traded out and they gave him one of his suits. Right. Which to me, I think that's kind of, the urn is cool, but the suit's kind of cooler too. I don't know,
Well, they gave him the suit and like the very last urn that Paul, they had several of the final urns made.
Yeah. So the last bit of information that I have for our athletic theater section of the podcast is Fanboy Expo has announced that Ted DiBiase and IRS will be guests at Fanboy Convention this year in Knoxville. And Money Inc. Exactly. And Brock has mentioned several times recently, I hope I get a chance to meet DiBiase. Want to meet DiBiase. And
I love Ted DiBiase.
There we go.
Yeah, I absolutely love him. I loved his character. I loved the $1 Million Man. And so, finally going to be able to meet him in October at Fanboy.
And he will be signing Brock's Ted DiBiase figure.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Yeah, WWE's been releasing in Hasbro. Mm-hmm. Is that Hasbro?
Yeah. Mattel does it.
My bad. Yeah, Mattel's been releasing the different figures, and they just recently came out with Ted DiBiase, and I'm like, yes. And then he got announced for that convention. It's like, yes, double. I regret when we went to Fanboy back in 2019. Brutus the Barber Beefcake was there.
Sergeant Slaughter.
That's the one I regret not going over and saying hello to him and meeting him, because I loved Sarge in wrestling, and I loved him in G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
And had all his figures as a kid, G.I. Joe figures and stuff. And I didn't go meet Sergeant Slaughter while he was there, and I kicked myself ever since. So, Fanboy Expo, we love you. If there's any way you can get Sarge back, I'd love to meet him.
I hope that they keep saying there's more announcements coming, so I hope that hope we get some really fantastic announcements out of them over the next couple of weeks. They haven't been disappointing so far, so who knows what else is yet to come.
Well, in other entertainment pieces that we have picked up, looks like and I'm gonna butcher her name, but Kristen Wiig
and Annie
Mamulo. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, they're writing a movie for Disney, and it's going to be about Anastasia and Drusilla, Cinderella's evil stepsisters.
Very interesting.
So is this the movie's going to be kind of like from their point of view, or I guess, is that where we're going now? We're getting Cruella, and now we're going to get the evil stepsisters?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, they make a line of live-action Disney villain movies. I'm good with that.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure.
They started up on Maleficent.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course, we know you'll be day one for Ursula, correct?
I tell you what, if we're still in the middle of this thing where they're allowing theaters to be rented out.
Mm-hmm.
If they ever come out with an Ursula movie, I'll rent out a theater.
All right, I know this is very off the wall random question. All right, your fan casting for Ursula.
I know
you need some time.
I have very mixed opinions on this, but if I remember correctly, the live action Little Mermaid movie that is currently in production, if I'm not mistaken, Melissa McCarthy is Ursula.
Yes.
Boy, do I have mixed feelings on that.
Yes, because I know what you mean. Because like I was not a big fan of her work, but one of the few things of Ghostbusters 2016 I really enjoyed was her character Abby. Her character was one I really enjoyed the most. Her and Patty, those were the two I identified with the most. But I saw the movie Identity Thief, and that was one of the movies that made me really dislike Melissa McCarthy. So
Identity
with
Thief
Melissa
was bad.
McCarthy, as long as you can keep her, and I've kind of identified this in the movies that she's been in, because with her, as long as you can keep her away from going kind of off the deep end with her jokes, she's funny to an extent. As long as you can keep her on task and staying on script, and don't let her go too crazy creatively. Like she's no Bill Murray. Bill Murray can ad lib everything, and it's amazing. It's no matter what. But with her, as long as you keep her on task and pair her with a good director, she's really, really good.
Have her more as her Abby from 2016 Ghostbusters, or her character from, was it I Spy? Was that the one with Jason Statham?
I think.
Yeah, Spy.
Yes.
I think it was just Spy. Yeah.
Yeah, I Spy is the Batista movie. That's completely different.
It's also an old Bill Cosby show that we won't touch.
There we go.
Right. But I mean, Melissa McCarthy's she's incredibly talented.
Yes,
and I think she would do a phenomenal job in that casting, as long as they kept her on point.
Yeah, and I think with her being Ursula in the live action Little Mermaid movie, I think I'm okay with that, because Disney will keep her in check. She won't go to her bodily function jokes and stuff like that. I have never been a fan of Melissa McCarthy. Ghostbusters 2016 was the only movie I've ever been able to stomach her. I do not like her whatsoever.
Have you guys watched Thunder Force yet?
No, but I've heard good things. I've heard it's really funny.
It does have Melissa McCarthy moments in it where it's very, very, they really give her a lot of leeway for her comedy in there. So there are moments in there where I was like, it's still a good movie.
It's a double-edged sword for me, because Octavia Spencer's in that as well.
Yeah, Octavia
graduated from Auburn University.
Mm-hmm.
She's a Bama girl. Mm-hmm. Alabama, not Roll Tide Bama. She's Auburn. So that's kind of I want to see it because of Octavia.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely don't want to see it because of Melissa.
You should watch it. It's good, even with the weirdness that you mentioned, those types of jokes, they're there. But even with that, it's a good movie, I think.
Yeah, it's hard for me, and anybody that knows me, I'm straight up honest. I hate bodily function jokes. I don't like sex jokes. I don't like toilet humor. It's just, to me, that's low-hanging fruit.
Cheap laughs.
I want to see something creatively funny.
Well, it is. I mean, you're dead on with that. It is.
Yeah,
for sure.
Well, and I don't know how Brock feels about this, but when they did the live Little Mermaid show, and Queen Latifah as Ursula, she
did a really good job.
She nailed that. So hit it right out of the park.
Yeah,
with Ursula.
Yeah, Queen Latifah, give me that all day as Ursula.
Yes,
she was fantastic.
Guys, we should definitely do a future segment where we just kind of go through all of the popular Disney movies, and then identify the villains. We can do Scar and Ratigan and all the different villains, and just kind of figure out what actor or actress would be really good for that part. That would be something really cool to do.
Yeah, kind of a fan casting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Make a note of that.
Yep. Noted.
I'm doing it now.
But yeah, for if Ursula were to have her own standalone movie, I got to go. Yeah, you know what? Now that we've brought it back up, I got to go Queen Latifah. Mm-hmm. You've got to bring her into it. I mean, Pat Carroll, unfortunately, is in her 90s. She'll never be able to reprise that role. And Queen Latifah, though, her bringing it in that live action special was amazing. I loved her. There's my vote.
That's it.
Bring her back.
I still think Melissa McCarthy could pull it off as well. If like I said, if they could rein in her humor and keep her on task. She'd be good too.
Being Disney and being that the Little Mermaid is so beloved, and there's no need for me to go into my personal feelings on it.
Mm-hmm.
Always has my heart.
If you want to know the backstory, listen to episode 1.
Yeah, go back to episode 1. Yeah, I think Melissa will do a fine job, which is kind of painful for me to say. I think she'll do a fine job in the live action Little Mermaid, but only because Disney's going to have their thumbprint all over it. And because the Little Mermaid is such a beloved, that kicked off the Disney Renaissance era. That movie saved Disney from the brink of losing all animation and destroying the studio. Little Mermaid saved that studio.
Oh wow, I did not know that. That's it.
They were releasing duds, and Little Mermaid is what revived Disney animation for the public. So, yeah, because of that is a prized property. They won't let Melissa screw that up. I have faith in that.
So it'd be interesting because we really don't know what the story with the stepsisters, what it's going to be about. It's in they're writing it, so who knows where they're going to take the story. I mean, I'm interested to find out.
I don't know much about Annie Mamolo and what she's written before, but I know Kristen Wiig. We know she's got a really good streak of humor. Mm-hmm. So, and just the way she thinks and the way she presents herself and the way that she acts, that pretty much is going to lend itself to this movie probably being hilarious in the end. So, I'm really looking forward to it for sure.
Yeah, we met, of course, the park characters down at Disney World where we met Anastasia and Drusilla and
Lady Tremaine.
Yeah, we met them down at Disney World one year. I mean, they were so funny. They were great. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they could pull off with this movie, for sure. Mm-hmm. When does Cruella come out?
Is it going to be released in theaters, or is this like the whole streaming and theater thing together?
I don't know. Disney's been very weird. Like they've been. I think it's going to be both. It'll be just one of those things. You paid the extra money to watch it.
Yeah, Cruella's coming up May 28th.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to that. I've always liked her as a character as well, and I like Emma Stone.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And it's going to be in theaters, and it's also going to be premiere access through Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, Brock, I don't know if we have a segue from talking about Cruella to this next topic because they're so incredibly different. But I know we really want to talk about the fact that I, in particular, am finally sitting down and getting to the point to where I'm watching through Star Trek Next Generation. It's on Netflix currently. And I am currently in season 3, and I am blissfully ignorant because growing up, I was able to catch, Next Generation episodes here and there. I think back when we were growing up, I think it was on like TBS or TNT or something. And I would catch an episode every once in a while. And I was like, yeah, Star Trek's awesome. If it wasn't for Star Trek, there wouldn't be Star Wars. And this stuff is like super cool. I love it. I just never have gotten around to actually sitting down and watching it. And I'm doing that now. And so, before in our pre-show talk, I was talking about, and I just passed the episode where, we get introduced to the Borg for the first time, and it was Q that screwed everybody over with, introducing everybody to the Borg. And these guys are about to flip out because they're like, I want to be you again, because it would mean that I could experience this for the first time again. So I am like super stoked to continue because it went 7 seasons, mm-hmm. and I just got into season 3 at this point. So I am remaining blissfully ignorant.
I'm jealous of you, but also at the same time, there's some season-ending cliffhangers that I'm glad you're not going to have to suffer the months waiting.
Oh, no kidding!
The conclusion too.
Good night, man. Yeah.
Well, I mean, as it is right now, with the way Netflix is formatted, it is they'll just go to the next.
Yeah.
They'll go to the next one, and you don't really realize that you're in a new season, but you're like, whoa, Dr. Pulaski's gone now. Okay. Okay. Crusher's back. And now we get to do the backstory as to why she came back. And, and then here I am like pulling it up online and going, why did Gates McFadden get kicked off the show after the first season? I'm like, oh, okay. And then you get to learn the whole, like, what happened to Dr. Pulaski? Oh, well, she went off and she's doing this now. And it's like, it's the way they explain it. It's like, it's really simple for them because they're like, well, she decided she didn't want to be the chief medical officer. So she came back because she was missing her son. And then Dr. Pulaski, who, by the way, I thought was amazing. I mean, she's an
Klasky's a great character.
Yeah, she's a good character.
My gosh, just a phenomenal character. Just how she acted off of Picard. Just having the same type of mindset, and they were just two really strong personalities. It's fantastic. But so far as Netflix's format, like I was in season 3, and I was like, it was jarring. It was like, whoa, okay, Seth's got a little bit better. We got Gates McFadden's back. We got and now we're talking about Wesley and the fact that he's never gotten to grow up really.
I think also like one of the sets got buffed up. Isn't it around time season 3 was when they were filming the 6th movie for the original series? Am I correct, Brock? I want to say season 3. That sounds about right. 91.
Star Trek 6 came out in 1991. Yeah.
So yeah, I would say it's either 2 or 3. That's when the engineering got buffed up because at the same time they were filming the movie. So
because Star Trek Next Gen started in 87 and ended in 94. So yes, that timeline sounds good. Yeah.
But I am absolutely over the moon enjoying this, and it is definitely a journey that has been long coming, because I've always said that I've been a Star Trek fan, but it's never like going to trump like Star Wars, because Star Wars was my first love. Yeah. But the just my love for Star Trek is just like becoming a huge deal now, instead of just being kind of like, hey, if it wasn't for Star Trek, there wouldn't be Star Wars. And now it's like, oh yeah, Star Trek is the thing.
Yeah, my kids want to. They both asked if they could watch the Star Trek movies, and I'm like, ooh, you really need to sit down, and I don't know what kind of time that we'll ever have for them to watch this series, the original series and Next Gen, for them to understand the characters in the movies. And why in Generations, why Data is the way he is. He's crying. Why is Data crying? Why does Data have emotions? Did he never have emotions before? It's like,
yeah.
Well, okay, look, I mean, to be fair though, I mean, I only ever watched it piecemeal, like an episode here and there, and I didn't have a whole lot of trouble following it. Like, I didn't know that Data had an emotions chip, but and I didn't know all. It just, they do a really good job explaining it in the movie.
Yeah.
So if you don't know, then it still works for you. So right. I'm in the defense of that, I would honestly think it would be okay if they just watch the movies. If anything, to
watch the key episodes that tie into the movies.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I need to go through.
I mean, they don't have to see the whole book, to read the whole book to understand this chapter. I mean, they do a really good job.
No, but
they do a really good. The reason I say that, I know that wasn't a good example, but the reason I say that is, with the movies, it's kind of like the chapter is its own book. It's right. They do a really good job explaining it. So
well, I think it's also the format. Like I always say, like that's one thing. Like with me, of course, up until recently with the Mandalorian, to me, Star Wars was better told as a film. Trek was always more better told as a episodic show
with movies sprinkled in.
Yeah,
the movies. The even movies, we all know how this goes. Odd movies are odd, and even movies are good.
Well, and I just know that Alyssa Parker is one for character story arcs and development of characters and things like that. So she really likes to know these people and what they're about. So, well, yeah, we'll see.
So she would need to do this then.
She would enjoy it. My daughter would absolutely enjoy it.
She would.
I mean, like I said earlier, I'm in season 3, and it's been a phenomenal ride for me so far. I mean, there are very few episodes in there that are just kind of like, eh. I mean, the worst one so far that I've run into was when Deanna's mom comes on board.
Oksana.
Anytime, and I've been told by my girlfriend, anytime she comes on, it's kind of cringy anyway. And so I got in that episode and I was like, good gosh, please let it end.
Oh, you think that's great? Well, you need to watch when she pops up in Deep Space Nine.
Oh yes. My gosh. I mean, I get it. It's a good character arc building, but when she's flirting with a hologram guy, that just took the cake. That was amazing.
Kevin, have you figured out yet that she's the voice of the ship's computer?
She is?
Majel Barrett Roddenberry. Yep.
That's who that is?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, she's Enterprise's computer.
Yeah, well, the actress that plays her mom, that's
Roddenberry.
Really?
Yes.
Yes.
I knew she was the voice of the computer. I didn't know that was the actress that played her. Really?
Yeah, it's Roddenberry's widow. Yeah.
Wow.
Whoa. Mind is blown.
This is your moment of Zen revelation.
It kind of is. It kind of is. That's amazing. I mean, I knew that she was the voice of the computer because I had actually told my girlfriend that. She didn't realize that. I was like, you know who the voice of the computer is? Like, yeah, that's Gene Roddenberry's widow. Yeah. I didn't realize it was the actress that was like, I was like, and I kind of feel bad about thinking it's cringy now.
Well, like and I have a Majel Barrett Roddenberry story.
Oh.
She came to the 1996 Star Trek 30th anniversary convention up in Huntsville, and I got to meet her. We were at a big dinner party afterwards for people who paid the VIP package prices, and at that time I was massive Trek, still am, but came all the way from Texas when I was stationed in the Air Force, drove all the way from Texas to Huntsville just for that one weekend, and it was in September of 1996. And so we're at this big dinner party afterwards, and Brock, just being the man of esteem and character that he is, walks up to her at the dinner to say hello to Miss Roddenberry, and she's shoving cauliflower with ranch dressing in her mouth at the same time. I got great timing. And she's like, oh, nice to meet you. I was like, I'm so sorry. She had ranch on her side of her mouth.
Wait a minute. You don't sound like the computer.
You sound like the computer was eating.
That was also the convention where you got slapped on the rear end by one of the esteemed astronauts.
Yeah. I am probably one of the few guys in America that can say Buzz Aldrin slapped me on the rear end.
Now everybody's silent. Oh,
yeah.
Awkward.
Yeah. Okay. Context. Buzz Aldrin was not looking to slap my butt.
I can't believe this story hasn't come up before.
Okay.
You gotta finish this.
Okay. So it was at the same dinner party, you know, the VIP ticket holders and everything. We got to mingle with a lot of people. At the time I was in the U.S. Air Force, and my job was in satellite and wideband communications. I'm standing there talking to Dan Golden, who at the time was the NASA administrator. He was the head of NASA. And I knew who he was, and I walked up to him and said, hey, I'm in the Air Force. I work on at least the land part of satellite communications, and got to talking to him and was having a really good conversation. And then all of a sudden, whack, right on my backside. I turn around. There's Alan Shepard standing there. And then there's Buzz Aldrin right behind me. Buzz had been talking to Alan about something and threw his hand up and whacked me in the rear end. And I turned around and looked at him, and he looks at me. He goes, young man, I'm so sorry. I said, Mr. Aldrin, no, I'm sorry for standing here.
Brock, you missed the perfect opportunity to pull a George Takei. Hello.
Oh my.
Oh my. Mr. Aldrin, oh my.
Yeah, well, you know. And standing next to him was Kate Mulgrew, you know, who was still on Voyager at the time. And do I dare? Kate was wearing a lovely black dress. She was beautiful. And so got to meet her as well, you know, after Buzz slapped me in the butt.
Brock, tell us more about the dress.
No, I'm a happily married man. I'm good. That was in the past. She looked good though.
For context, guys, we're doing this while we're on video, and just looking at Brock's face while he said, "Dare I?" He just looked so super awkward when he said that.
I always look awkward. So I have Star Trek stories, but yeah, that was the Majel Barrett Roddenberry and the Buzz Aldrin butt smacking one.
Hey man, the man's a fan of moons. What can he say?
Hey, and he's telling us to get our butts to Mars.
He sees one, right?
Yeah, he's got a shirt. Get your to Mars. So yeah.
Well, I'm really happy for you, Kevin, that this is that you're diving into this and you're taking this experience and
and the best part is you're in season 3 when the show just skyrockets. Yeah, and
it definitely feels like it at this point. It feels like they're really starting to dig into character development, and they're instead of just kind of hitting on everybody a little bit, that they're really starting to dig into it. And I can tell that a lot of the actors are really starting to get into the roles. And it's I agree. I can see it. I can see it.
Well, Kevin doesn't like spoilers, so we're not going to say anything at all. You know, we're not going to treat him like we do Bo. But the cliffhanger for season 3, you are going to flipping love.
Well, I'm feeling bad. Which one's season 3 of cliffhanger?
Best of Both Worlds, Part 1.
Gotcha. Yeah. Oh yeah.
And the joy in all of it, Kevin, is that you're not going to have to wait. You can jump right into the next one. So
exactly. With the season 3 cliffhanger, having to wait those months for the second part to come out was excruciating. You know, Next Gen has, you know, I've always loved original series, but Next Gen was my special tie to Next Generation. Is I graduated high school on the day of the series finale, the day that All Good Things aired. So my high school career and Star Trek The Next Generation ended on the exact same day.
Yeah. While Kevin is going through his journey, Brock and I, we're talking about all this because we, you know, it's been brought up among us that, you know, Kevin has been watching Next Gen, and then Brock and I just have decided in the last couple of weeks to dive back into it again and watch each episode, because it's been a long time since I've seen a lot of these episodes. So it's the rediscovery for me. And I mean, I know the characters, I know, you know, I know the foundation and the basis and everything but it's that chance to go back through and watch something that can be like new to you again when it's been so long that you've seen it. And this is what I grew up in. I would say this is the world, the Star Trek world that I was kind of introduced into to fandoms.
Well, and you guys stay tuned, because I have every intention after I'm done with this to just pick up immediately with Deep Space Nine. So I want to continue on. Yeah,
and Deep Space Nine and Next Gen ran concurrent for a little while with each other. So it ties in extremely well, you know, with each other. There's a couple of crossover episodes.
Made me think, as I know no one can see this, I'm holding up, but if you ever get to the episode Genesis of Next Gen, I have it recorded from WTTO back in the day. I found my old VHS tapes. I do have it. I'm holding it right here. So
would anybody like a bootleg copy?
Yes.
Paramount would like your number.
Hey, this was recorded from broadcast television. So, hey.
Dude, that's such a generic looking tape, too. That's wonderful, man. You kids who don't know what VCRs are, man.
Extra quality video cassette, 6-hour. He's got it written on it, Star Trek, TNG.
Jeans.
I get it right.
As we try to decipher Bo's handwriting on a little VHS tape.
Like early teenage Bo's handwriting.
Star Trek is just a great fandom, I think, to be involved in and to be immersed in. And some series might not be as, you know, well loved or well received or as popular as others, but you know, we've become a big fan of Discovery, and now they're going to have the spinoff with Captain Pike. I'm looking forward to that, because the guy that they got to play Pike in Discovery, he is phenomenal.
Anson Mount as Captain Pike. Oh, my goodness. There's a reason the fan outcry from Discovery Season 2 led to this new show being created for him, and, you know, showing the Enterprise prior to Kirk taking over.
I know, Kevin, you haven't, and Bo, you haven't seen any Discovery yet.
I watched the pilot episode, and like I said, eventually it's on my ever-growing list of things to watch one day.
I watched a couple of episodes of this latest season, and then I kind of dropped off. So you can talk about anything that was like before that, and I would know.
One of my hopes this year with cons starting back up, it's already announced for Mississippi Comic Con, but they've got Doug Jones, who plays Saru. Doug Jones, phenomenal actor, has been in several different movies and TV series. Love Doug to death, and he's been announced as a guest at Mississippi Comic Con, who is the same company or the same convention company that puts together Alabama Comic Con. So fingers crossed that we get an announcement.
He was at Days of the Dead in Atlanta last year, February of 2020, when we met Kathleen Turner, and he was filming something at the time. So when we were there at the con, he wasn't able to be there, and so we missed him. But I'd love to meet Doug.
Absolutely.
He seems like a wonderful, wonderful man.
I don't know how we will segue into the next segment. This is another one that easily don't really have a good segue.
Easily, but spoilers. We won't spoil anything for you. We're going to just destroy him for Bo.
Well, but we've been doing that the entire time for Bo. So that's fine.
That's all right.
But Bo, let us know. Let us know how far you are with it.
I am into episode 1. Not to brag now, you know.
Ooh. Wait, let's back up. Let's be clear. Here we go. We're going into spoiler territory. You hear the sounds going off here, spoiler territory. What are we referring to? What have we been talking about for the past couple of weeks? Falcon and Winter Soldier. That is what Bo says. He has now seen episode 1. Congratulations, Bo.
And my biggest takeaway from episode 1 is apparently if you were an unfortunate person that got snapped by Thanos, after 5 years, your credit got destroyed.
Pretty much.
I mean... and apparently superhero is not very good for your FICO score, I guess. I don't know. Watching
Thanos, the great destroyer of credit.
Your credit is 500.
Yeah, I know this. That's watching stuff like that as an adult does that to you. You know?
Credit score is gone in a snap.
Yeah. You come back after the snapping and you're like, wait. But what about my credit score?
Yeah.
Am I at least 720?
No. Wait a minute. You saying when I left, my credit score was 798, and I just came back and it's 423?
What's my interest rate now?
How crazy is that?
My interest rate is going up.
Yes. Well, you have deferred payments for 5 years, so I guess that would do that to you. You know, also, you know.
Oh man,
Sir, you lost the boat.
Yes,
it was repoed.
This is all the like regular human stuff that happens during the snapping, you know.
Yeah, see, you guys, you were watching this, you weren't really considering what it would have done to the people that left and that were snapped for 5 years. But we've already done the research for you guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gosh. Oh, this is...
Well, I think in the series finale of Falcon and Winter Soldier, I think they probably boosted his credit score a little bit because he's taking care of some business.
Yeah.
He has a Captain One card, I guess, now.
Oh, man. I don't think he's going to have a problem getting anything from here on out.
Yeah. But they jumped pretty quickly into the series finale the show started and Sam is there in the red, white, and blue.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Well, for me not watching, that's very fair. I mean, why would you tease, you know, a new Captain America and all you get like maybe the closing segment of the episode? Might as well give him his own full episode to kind of, I guess, well, since he's Falcon, spread his wings as Captain America.
Yep. And that's what was in the box.
Yep.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yep.
You know, I was, we had no idea what was in the box, although we kind of had a good idea of what was going to be in there. I was really hoping that since it was from Wakanda, that it was going to be like the flower, you know, and then it would like give him the temporary Black Panther powers, and it would have been like him jumping around. But I was like, oh no, he doesn't need it. He just went through this whole Rocky montage of training, and then now he is just, I mean, he still doesn't have the super serum, but God, as soon as you see him in the finale, he doesn't need it.
No.
He's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Maybe that's something they wanted to hint at. Maybe that Captain America was, I mean, even though the serum helped, it's more of a character and desire type thing. You know, something he has to really work for. He's worked his body, he works his character type thing.
And the fact that he spent at least a good part of the episode, him and Bucky both making things right. Like Bucky completed his list of things. And then we have the whole moment where, you know, Isaiah Bradley finally gets put into the museum and his trials and tribulations that he went through. That literally made me cry.
That was a moment.
Just knowing, and yes, he had a huge part in this. I mean, if it hadn't been for that, they wouldn't have been able to have this super serum that they have now. So it's just the fact that he just took him and took him to he said, I need to show you something, and then took him to the museum and showed the statue they've got of him alongside, like in the next hall over from Captain America. So it's like he's in the same exhibit now. That was phenomenal.
They closed everything up very nicely, I feel, in the end, and still I see that there is possibility for a second season now. There's without a doubt there's that possibility that we can carry this on into more seasons.
But we're getting a Captain America 4 movie, aren't we?
Yes.
Because of because of this.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, even if they decide to just do the movie and not do another series, they sewed it up so well that this could just lead into any movie.
True.
And it would be okay, I think.
Yeah.
As long as you've seen this, you're going to know what's going on. I mean, with Marvel, you kind of have to see the movies, whether you're like into Guardians of the Galaxy. If you wanted to know how they tied in, you needed to see it, and you kind of needed to see it in order. And then that's the way this is as well. It's like, I can only imagine someone going, whoa, 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 whoa. The dude with the wings has the shield now, and what is going on with this?
I guarantee you in the beginning of the next Captain America movie, there will be some kind of like either montage or like some kind of news report talking about, they knew more recently Sam Wilson, Captain America, blah, 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 blah type thing. It'll be one of those things that, be in the background for it to be acknowledged, but not,
However,
but they won't dig into it.
Well, however they choose to follow up, they have set the stage for, either this to follow up in the Captain America 4 movie, or set the stage for another series. We'll see. I mean, we know the Captain America 4 movie's coming out. I would like to see another season of Captain America and Winter Soldier, or Falcon and Winter Soldier, or wherever they're going to go with it now.
The big question is, I guess, that I wanted to ask you guys, since I haven't done it yet, which did you think was better, Falcon and Winter Soldier or WandaVision?
They each had such different feels.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah, I
can't say. I got to finish the series.
I wasn't asking you, Bo.
But social media allows me to kind of watch bits and pieces.
It's Falcon Vision. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Falcon Vision.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is like Falcon and Winter Soldier. I still feel like it could have been. I mean, granted, we would have lost some content, but it still could have been a movie. WandaVision doesn't feel that way. It never felt like it would have been able to be something that would have worked as a movie. I don't think.
No, they fully intended that to be episodic, like the old TV shows.
I think,
go ahead.
I say once it gets past the whole setup, what's going on, and then once eventually it becomes a tie of what's going on with current events, then that part could probably be a movie. But the decades episode,
yeah, you needed that slow creep of like trying to slowly figure out what was going on. Whereas this, I mean, it started out. I mean, you've seen episode 1 now. It just kind of feels like, this could probably be a movie. It kind of because it feels like a movie.
Yeah, the parallel stories going on, but overlapping stories with Bucky and Sam going on at the same time. I like that. It's like I said, I look forward to see what I'm going with it. Like I said with me, even though I know what's going to happen, I still one of those people. I enjoy the journey just as much as the destination. So,
and I want to give a quick special shout out to Rob Brayton.
Yes,
Rob is a personal friend of ours. He has been fortunate enough to now be immortalized in the MCU. At the end where you see Sam making his very well done speech to the council, there's a gentleman standing just over Sam's shoulder, and he's got good FaceTime. He's wearing glasses like me, got gray hair, but that's our friend Rob from Atlanta. So he got some good screen time. So congratulations on that, Rob.
Yeah, well deserved.
Also, didn't handsome Chase Ambrose have a moment with John Walker? Chase
was like cheering on John Walker in the first episode, first or second episode where he was at the football game.
Right, when he was introduced at the game.
Yeah, he was introduced at the football game. He's over there signing the Captain America action figure. You see Chase in the background, You can also spy Chase as a concerned parent at the PTA meeting in Cobra Kai season 3.
Again?
We have so much fun. We just took a picture of the screen during Cobra Kai, and we had because I'm deaf, we have the captions on. And so Chase has got his hands out, making a really like a, what are you going to do type face.
Gesture with his hand, face.
And the caption on the screen, and it's just sort of cut off in the picture, but the end of the sentence was again with a question mark, and it's right next to Chase's face, and it's the perfect picture. So anytime somebody says something stupid or something repetitive on Facebook, they just post the meme of the meme picture of Chase going again.
I made the perfect Chase Ambrose meme. I'm happy to. I'm very proud of that.
Oh me. So yeah, it's good to see some of our friends in these worlds.
Yeah, I'm very envious of a lot of our friends that have had the chance to go and to work on these movies and be background players and extras and everything. And it's so fun to, to play that game to spot them out.
Yeah. And our friend John Anderson, who's local here in Alabama, he was in Stranger Things. Yeah. Got some good FaceTime in Stranger Things. Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah.
And that was another, game there for a while, is Find Brother John.
Yep. Yep. And of course, our friend from Georgia, Michael Koski, has been featured in Walking Dead and in Guardians of the Galaxy as well. Yeah. Yeah. So we got several friends that we're thankful to know and very happy for them.
Yeah.
So now that Falcon and Winter Soldier's over, now we begin to wait for Loki, which you guys will not have to worry about me waiting on that. That seems like that's going to be right up my alley with all the time correction and all this screwball sci-fi fun that looks like that's going to be. Mm-hmm. So you won't have to worry about spoilers for me.
We're going to hold you to that.
Yeah,
please. Oh, yeah. I want you to. That'll be what I did for the podcast.
Yeah, I'm ready for Loki. I'm ready for this series. I'm a huge fan of the character, so I'm looking forward to this.
Who doesn't love Tom Hiddleston?
Yeah,
seriously, that man is everything.
Exactly.
Yeah, if you say you don't love Tom Hiddleston, you're just a dirty liar.
Oh. But yeah, and Anthony Mackie, I think, is going to make a fantastic.
Oh yeah,
Captain America. I love Chris Evans, and I still can't decide if Civil War or Winter Soldier is my favorite Marvel movie, but it's one of those two. I always tell everyone, Winter Soldier. Not only is it a great Marvel movie, it is just a great movie in general. You don't even have to be a fan of the comic book movies. Just watch it for what it is. It is just a suspenseful thriller, but has a really deep kind of dark and interesting message. But it's really cool. Yeah, I'll probably give Winter Soldier the edge. I've absolutely loved that movie ever since it came out. Mm-hmm. I think it's got to be my top Marvel movie, and it solidifies. Yeah, it's just kind of a Captain America. Of course, he's going to be a lot of people's favorites, but he's mine. I love Captain Marvel. Well, Scarlet Witch. Yeah, sorry, Elizabeth Olsen. Give me all day.
Well, Civil War is fun for at least, that was all the lead, if they actually decided to fight each other, who would kick each other's butt. So that's, but also Civil War's got a good story with it also.
Yeah.
It's great because of Winter Soldier. So they both exist together. That's kind of why I think that's probably why they're so great.
I agree.
Yeah. It plants the seeds for all the far reaching consequences of Sokovia. Those accords and, so that we're seeing, we saw in WandaVision.
Yeah.
And continue.
But we didn't get any hint or any introduction to anything X-Men. I was really kind of disappointed with that, but it's okay. They just haven't figured out how they're going to do it yet, I think. So, or they have, and it's not going to happen. That would be something perfect. And I know that this has probably already been said with Falcon and Winter Soldier, but the Loki series will be perfect to feature that with all, like you said, Bo, the time and the course correction and stuff. They could easily go, oh yeah, by the way, mutants exist now, and now we've got like xenophobia and all this other stuff, and it's a thing.
See, what's gonna? I think WandaVision is gonna tie into it because it's gonna kind of be her alternate reality or whatever, finding the one where her children actually exist. Mm-hmm. And I think that's that's what I like really, because they're the most comic booky where they're gonna go really way out there with, like I said, multiple timelines, alternate realities, where the sky is purple and vice versa. It's really going to be like the hardcore nerds playground. They've all been hardcore nerds playground, but then when you get into the alternate reality where, crazy stuff like that, that's going to be really fun.
They're going to have a tough time making this work unless they go way out in left field, because, X-Men should have been part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe from the get-go. So shoehorning them in now that we're in how many movies are we into now? 15 something movies or something
like that.
22.
Yeah. So we're almost 24 movies in now. Yeah. Now we're going to shoehorn another established franchise in. They are going to have to go way out in the left field to get this to work.
Well, I think what it'll be, I don't think they may hint at it as being there, but I really truly believe they're going to introduce the X-Men or Fantastic Four. It will be in a film version. Like I think they'll dabble the water, but I get that. As a studio, you want that introduction to be a movie, which that's your big properties, which I think all the series will be kind of they're important, but they're side stories, but you still, it's not the main focus, if that makes sense. It's still important, but it's not the focus like the movie experience.
Yeah.
Yep.
And hey, you said movie experience. Here is the segue into our last topic I see on our list here. the movie experience, Brock and I are happy to report that we have activated our AMC A-list. And what caused us to activate our AMC A-list? Mortal Kombat. We went to see Mortal Kombat last weekend. And you don't go to that movie, looking for the Oscar-worthy performance. It's not a deep thought conversational type movie. It is what it is. It's a movie based on a very graphic, violent video game.
The movie actually managed to hold itself together the full time, even if it did also carry the whole B-level flick feel that the original one had. It just wasn't as campy as the original one. They actually tried in this one.
The special effects are fantastic.
Yeah, the thing was that kind of bothered me about it was the special effects were phenomenal, but it still kept the really artificial looking backgrounds and very enclosed background feel that the original one had. It made me think that they did that on purpose because they wanted you to feel like it was in the video game. Whereas, when you're in a video game, you fight in a scene.
Mm-hmm.
It was like every one of the scenes felt like they were like a Mortal Kombat fighting arena. For a movie, it just kind of felt kind of weird. Overall, yeah, you're right. The CGI was phenomenal. They definitely threw some money into that.
Mm-hmm. Bo and I were talking last night in Atlanta about this because Bo has not seen it yet.
Of course.
And, surprise. There's one character death in there I don't want to spoil for him.
Mm-hmm.
At least I don't want to be the one to spoil it for him. And you're going to know what I'm talking about when this character is...
Is it the one who carried the movie?
No.
Because there was one particular character in that movie that carried the movie.
No, but was...
I don't know. Let me hold y'all back now. Go ahead.
I don't, because it was such a... It was such a...
Well, see, that's the reason why it's holding me up. I would have seen it by now, but I want to see this in the theater. I don't know why. This is one of those movies I had to see in the theater. This is a personal preference thing for me.
It was
so many people died, though, Brock.
Someone died in a Mortal Kombat movie? How dare you?
But
I'm done. I'm leaving.
I'll explain it. Where'd he go? Oh, there he is. No, hopefully you'll understand when I say this character has such a massive presence that has a rich history in the Mortal Kombat universe that should not have died within 5 minutes in that fight.
Mm-hmm. As Kevin still looks confused, but we're going to try to avoid spoilers.
Let's just drop that because there's so many of them died, and I still think I know who you're talking about, but it doesn't line up with that. Yeah,
the character who the movie really focuses on, who is trying to get into the tournament, is tied up in this death.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, the guy who plays Shang Tsung, I got to get this off my chest. The guy who plays Shang Tsung is the same guy who was the what was his name in The Dark Knight? He was the guy from Hong Kong that was, meeting with Lucius Fox.
He was the accountant.
Yeah, the accountant. I could not buy him as Shang Tsung. Could not do it. Every time I saw him come on screen, when he said, "Your soul is mine," all I could hear was, "I'm good with calculations." That's all.
He didn't feel it.
No,
it just. I mean, the original. I don't. Forgive me. I don't know the actor who did the original Shang Tsung in the movie. Mm-hmm. He was like one of the best characters in the whole movie.
Oh, hands down.
So it's like, I mean, he was phenomenal. And then I totally expected this guy to be like, "Your soul is mine," and then he's just like,
"I'm good with calculations.
Your soul is mine." Okay.
I could not get past seeing him as the Dark Knight accountant. Could not get past it, and I'm just that ruined his character for me.
Bo, you'll enjoy it. There's a lot of really memorable characters.
Mm-hmm.
And probably one of the best ones in there, the surprise character, was Cabal.
Yeah.
Cabal has a really good appearance in there, and he has quippy humor. Everything, and it's just it's magical because he's one of my favorite characters. I think he was in Mortal Kombat 3?
Three. Yeah. As I was telling Brock, the Cabal was one of my favorite characters to use in 3. He had a great combo that worked really well if you knew how to work him. But it's like with me, like I said, it's my biggest thing is from the people I've heard it griped about it is the movie spends so much time setting up future movies that it really doesn't worry about standing on its own.
They don't even get to the tournament.
No.
Yeah, I was about to say, Bo, I'll spoil that for you. They don't even do the tournament. This is just like the whole thing's like, all right, we're going to break into the Earth realm and ruin it before the tournament ever even starts. And I'm like, you get to the end of it and you're like, okay, cool. So in the next movie, maybe we'll do the tournament. But how many people are left?
Well,
You're not looking around.
Well, like I said, Mortal Kombat also falls victim to the comic book syndrome. Nobody really stays dead sometimes, so you never know.
And I hope that's the case in the death that I was referencing earlier, because I was so disappointed in that death, because I'm like, that character is so ingrained in Mortal Kombat in my mind, for me, that there's no way he should have died that way that quickly.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have happened.
Are we all in deep thought now about this?
Yes.
Oh, I know who you're talking about, Brock. Okay.
I was just happy for the movie the movies to have popcorn.
There you go.
Oh my gosh, boy, this woman was overjoyed. I have a bucket of popcorn, and she carried it around in her 2020 AMC bucket. So it was a pandemic bucket.
Yes, this is the new way of refilling your popcorn bucket in, the pandemic era. They just place the paper bucket into your plastic bucket.
Yeah, no refills.
No refills. So I couldn't have my, the thing was before I'd have my bucket of popcorn and then I'd hit them up on the way out so I could take my refill and have my bucket of popcorn at the house. But it's okay. We'll hopefully the world will get back to normal at some point and we can have our refills again.
Yeah, it was wonderful. We saw it in IMAX and everybody was spaced out very well, felt very safe. The only drawback to going back to the movie theater was about halfway through, we hear this little kid. And I'm like, A, why are you in Mortal Kombat? Little kid. 2, little kids in the movie theater. Leave them at home unless it's a children's movie.
Yeah, this was not one for the kiddos.
Well, I cannot stand. Okay, I've already mentioned earlier, I'm half deaf. I cannot stand, because especially in the theater where I'm not seeing closed captioning, I am concentrating so hard on the story, on the dialogue and everything, and then to have a kid disrupt it is a massive pet peeve of mine. So it was great to be back in the theater. And of course, for showing back, we've got a kid, little child in Mortal Kombat talking during the middle of the movie. Don't do that. Leave your kids.
You were reminded of the bad part of theaters as well, and why a lot of people are kind of rejoicing that a lot of the movie companies are starting to move towards, doing home streaming, because, at home you can sit here and watch a movie and not have to worry about it. But then a lot of us like to get out and have the movie experience. So I'm really hoping that obviously bounces back.
The movie experience was, to me, it was just happy to be back there. Even though I was seeing Mortal Kombat, I was happy to be back in the theater. And we found out recently, I do regret that we did not go see Godzilla versus Kong in the theater and have the theater experience for that. So sorry, Jacob Walsh, that we let you down there, buddy. And
Jake from YHS Podcast, we're so sorry, man. But
just remember, we do have a second run theater. It's not the one in Hoover that used to be, but it's the one down on 280 now. It is now a second run theater. So there's just something to think about eventually.
Down at Lee Branch?
Yeah, the Lee Branch is now the second run theater.
Really?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, it should be, because that's where we saw Dark Phoenix.
Yeah.
When it was heading out of the theater.
Well, I mean, the last I heard, the Lee Branch Theater, they were only opening it up on like Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yeah.
Have they changed that at all?
Oh, I have no idea. I just know when I started browsing back movie times and stuff, I saw that they were showing this kind of become the second run, because the other one, I guess they've closed down because of COVID, or if they're not going to reopen or not, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
It was wonderful being back in the theater. And to be fair, the kid only made a couple of noises, but still it tweaked my head to the side. And went, there
he only made a couple of noises, and then Brock hit him with a trank dart, as would be appropriate in a Mortal Kombat theater. I mean, they allowed those in the theater, in the auditorium.
Hey,
so
call me Shankman. I've always got Thorazine on me, I guess.
Hey.
Well, guys, I think we have wrapped all this up beautifully. I was dead set on talking about Mortal Kombat, but not telling Bo my thought about the one death. I'm sorry. That was such a hang up for me. But Mortal Kombat's a good movie. It's an okay movie. Special effects, fantastic. Sub-Zero, Scorpion, that alone, those two. I wish we had more time with those two. Fantastic. But the ending, when they ended the movie and didn't do a tournament, I was like, really?
But the movie ended showing you where they're headed.
Now,
at least
in one direction,
and who they appear to be headed out looking for.
I did want to mention, since this is kind of a segue into what Jessica was talking about with this whole thing being like centered mostly around Sub-Zero and Scorpion, there was a movie that came out last year. It was an animated movie called Mortal Kombat Legends: Scorpion's Revenge. If you really, that movie, that is literally the best Mortal Kombat movie.
Yeah,
nothing touches that. That movie was phenomenal. So if you want to see a good Mortal Kombat movie, watch that.
Say what you will about Warner Brothers live action entries, but some reason why they've got it dialed in when it comes into animated movies. Some reason why they can do no wrong with animated movies.
Nice.
Yep. There was and I remember watching this first run, there was a trial YouTube show based on Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Years ago. That was phenomenal. That was
probably
a good show.
Like 10 to 15 years ago. I want to say with going back with Star Trek, was it Jerry Ryan was supposed to be their Sonya Blade, I believe.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
And I've not seen it since it first aired on YouTube, but I
think
remember
they tried to do something with it, but it never really got picked up by anything.
It was supposed to, but it fell through.
Yeah.
That was a good show. If it's still on YouTube, go try to find that. I forget what it's called, Mortal Kombat something. Well, I guess that's going to wrap it up for us. We really appreciate you guys joining us on episode 4 for Bama Geeks. Hit us up on our social media at Bama Geeks, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We do reply. We love to interact. If you want to drop us an email, we are at bamageeks@gmail.com. Darnay, again, thank you so much for the cereal, Ghostbusters Afterlife cereal. We're going to look forward to digging into those. And we'd love to hear from you. Hit us up on the socials and make sure you check out the YouTube channel. Just look up Bama Geeks on YouTube. We do a temporary video version of this once Jessica and I get decent backgrounds where you don't see our kitchen. Or me behind Jess, hidden behind monitors. We'll start doing a video version so you can see all of our kind of beautiful faces. So
the name of that Mortal Kombat YouTube show is Mortal Kombat Legacy.
Try again.
The name of the YouTube Mortal Kombat show is Mortal Kombat Legacy, if anyone is wondering. But yes,
featuring Young Bo. Yeah. Make sure you hit us up on iTunes. Leave us a 5-star review. We'd love to hear from you on there. Hopefully good things. If you want to leave us a 1-star review, just forget we exist. But a 5-star review on iTunes is certainly appreciated. It's going to help us get noticed a little bit more. And we try to release these every other week. And as long as we can do that, you'll be hearing from us. And hopefully we'll hear from you too. At Bama Geeks on social media. Find us everywhere. Thank you so much once again for joining us. We'll catch you again very soon.
Bye.
Bye, guys.